see. Amir, give me a reason that an author would use a quotation in a news article. Okay, but that's a very vague response. To emphasize the point to the reader could mean a lot of different things because emphasize is pretty vague. Come on, Amir, I asked you to get out your notes, right? You should have notes on this. If you don't remember, that's what the notes are for. Miranda, give me something. A closer connection to what? Yeah, the topic or the event being discussed. Okay, so let's talk about a close connection. Good. So, Miranda, if I want to cover the Republican National Convention, and I'm a news journalist, I would include a quotation from what kind of person involved?
Someone that was there.
Someone that was there and watching. Excellent. That creates the close connection. Very good. Miles?
Trust.
Okay, trust. Excellent. So, second reason is trust and authority. Miles, explain that one to me.
Well, if the article is saying something and then someone else speaks about it, then you're going to trust them more because it came from a person.
But let's qualify that person. That someone else is what kind of person?
Person that was there.
Possibly. Miles is doing excellently. He's got a really good answer, but what's unique about that person that we're quoting? Harold? Professional or authoritative, trustworthy source about that. So if we're talking about a medical issue, we consult a doctor and we quote a doctor, and that gives us authority. Three. Jesse, third reason. We've got 4 total. Can you give me another one besides the close connection and the trust or authority? Yeah. I'm sorry, Jessica. I apologize.
To create an interesting usability.
There you go. This interesting use of language stimulates some sort of emotional response within the reader. Could be shock, could be laughter, could be tears, sadness, could be fear. Trevor, what about the last one? Give the character of the speaker. Let's see here. Why would I care for them to really know the speaker? Silence descends. It's a difficult question. Why would I care for them to know the speaker? Because the speaker is the topic of the article. Because the speaker is the subject. The speaker is the focus. Will, in my yellow justifications up there, what do you notice is common among all four of them? What word is common among all four? Yes. Look at your responses, please, and see if that word appears. If not, you're already missing the point. In your old response, if you do not include the word reader, you're missing the point. Because we're always talking about why the quotation is used for a reader. What impact does it make on the reader? So once again, look at my green marks. Did I respond by saying, what is the impact on the reader? If I did, then you're probably kind of dancing around the point, maybe summarizing the quotation. You're just telling me what they said, but you're not telling me why. I am not interested in answering this question. I know you can repeat. I don't care about you repeating. If I said, what does that quotation say? Well, you can say, the quotation says this, and you can paraphrase. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in you answering, why did the author include it? And you must always focus on this relationship. The author-reader relationship. Why did that author offer that quotation to that reader? To make them feel something? To generate trust? To help the reader see the event more clearly? To introduce the reader to a person? Those are the four answers. But when you write your response should always use words like author/writer and reader. And then, with the each of these different ones, there's a third piece of information, a third piece of writing that will change. And repeat everything that I just talked about. I should expect to see that word in your response. I should see that word in your response. These are the notes that we had from before. If I see the first option, I would see a word like character, words like familiar. If it's the second one, I would see words like authority, word like trust. Third one, I should see something about feeling, something about emotion, but you should specify which one. This quotation makes the audience feel sad. This quotation makes the audience feel excited. This quotation makes the audience feel shocked. Those are specific emotion words. This one, I'll see words like connection. I'll see words like first-hand perspective and words like event, as well as the author-reader words. If you start using the language that I'm using, if you start using the language that I'm talking about, you'll start to realize you're thinking in the ideas that I want you to think in, and you're moving from the what question to the why question. You're becoming a more sophisticated, more mature reader. Don't just take what an author gives you. Think about why an author is giving you whatever they're giving you. Blah, blah, blah. Enough lecture. Let's see application. So Colby has asked for assistance with his and Colby, remind me what's the article? It's the skydiver one, right? I would like, first of all, the source. What is the source? Channel 1. And what? Tell me the title, please.
Skydiver cancels second try at a supersonic jump.
Interesting. I'm not seeing channel 1. Skydiver cancels second try at super in NM. Sorry that we're not finding it quickly, but we'll get there. Come on. Let's see if we can go directly there and go through. We're going to pull one of Colby's, well, the quotation that he'd like to focus on. And hopefully we can pull up the article. But in the meantime, while we're pausing on pulling up the article, does somebody have one that they'd like to offer as an example? In other words, would anybody like me to do their work for them? Thank you, Allie. So talk to me about the article that you're focusing on, and then we'll talk about the quotation.
About One Direction.
About One Direction, excellent.
Is that how Vivo the Bible?
Oh, okay, so there's a video that was leaked, right?
Yes.
Excellent. What's the quotation? I mean, who's the speaker? Let's talk with that first.
In here it says the boys, but we call them the boys.
So in other words, this is a quotation from the band.
Yes.
Okay, good. Is it, you say boys plural, is there any one speaker?
No,
Like,
it's all of them.
do they speak in unison?
I don't know, it says the boys stated, we wanted our fans to see the video and hear the single in the proper way. So we moved the premiere to tonight.
Okay, so probably One Direction issued some kind of press release, right? They probably published something, wrote something, and that's a direct quotation from whatever they wanted to express. That's what musical artists do. So the band One Direction is issuing this statement. What's that doing for the article? Which of those four do you think is most likely? Allie, let me ask you this. Let's go through process of elimination, right? You got four. Is the focus of the article One Direction, or are we trying to introduce you to the band for the first time, get you to know who they are?
Okay.
Is that what the article's about? No, it's not. The article's about that video, right? Okay, so the article is not an introduction to One Direction. It's not like, here's One Direction, let's learn about them. That's not what it is. It's about the video. It's about an event, something that happened. So we'll scratch that character of the speaker thing off. That's not the one we're dealing with. If that's not it, and they're not an authoritative resource on anything, it's not like they're professionals that are lending their voice, is it an interesting use of language, or does it create a closer connection? Okay, because you're actually hearing somebody that's involved with the event, right? You're hearing from somebody that is intimately involved in what happened here. And so it makes me feel closer because I'm hearing their voice. It's almost like they're sitting right there talking with me about that. Does that make sense? Allie, in your answer, you've got to write something like, the author includes this quotation to make the reader feel closer to the event because One Direction is actually involved in the event. Does that make sense? Then why aren't you writing? All right, Colby, let's see if we can find yours. But you did find it on Google?
Yeah, I put in like the whole thing and then channel.
All right, hold on. There we go. All right. Here we got the skydiver cancels second try at supersonic jump in New Mexico. And you are dealing, oh, there we go. It was just a situation where it took too long. Mission meteorologist Don Day said. What do you want to do? Which of those four options? Which quotation are you
Not knowing if the wind would continue or not, we made the decision to pull the plug.
Right there. Not knowing if the winds would continue or not, we made the decision to pull the plug. Mission Technical Director Art Thompson said. Baumgartner's team said he had a second balloon and intends to try again. So just looking at that on the page, Colby, which of those four options do you think you might go for? And I'll give you a hint, and I'll see how anybody else can do this. First, look at who's speaking. Andrew, who's speaking here? Okay, Mission Technical Director Art Thompson. You hear that, Mission Technical Director Art Thompson, and why do you think an author would include that in the article?
Like this one is trusted
Doesn't it sound like we've got a professional here who generates authority within the article and therefore creates trust within the reader? I'd go for that. And if Colby were doing that, I'd accept that. You know, when I'm grading your current events reports and I look at that second blank, who is the speaker, and I see something like technical director, professor of zoology, something like that, I expect to see an answer that talks about trust and authority. We include these people and their voices in our articles because we like to have their authoritative view on the situation. So Colby, your discussion should use the word reader, use the word author, and talk about trust and authority and how this person is an obvious expert on the situation at hand, and that expertise transfers over to the author himself. Does that make sense? Okay. Any further questions? Then I'm going to give you a couple minutes to address that section before you turn this current events article back into me. So please make sure that you are making any changes in that section that you wish, and once that's finished, you can make sure that the article is stapled to the back and turn it in.